What's up? It's me. Oh, this mic isn't working. Anyways. What's up? It's me. I don't know. I don't look like I'm that loud. Give me a second. Alright. That's a little better. What's up? It's me. You know who I am. JGH. Live today. As you saw the title, I'm going to be making a song out of sounds from my apartment. My camera's crooked. It's also not in focus on me. Focus on me, not the background. Alright, there we go. So anyways, yeah, I am live right now. I still don't think this is straight, but anyways, I am going to be working on some new music. Oh, that's why. No, wrong button. I need to find the button. Okay, there we go. Autofocus is now on. So it should focus on my hand if I cover my face. Oh my gosh. Give me 1 second. Let me do this. So anyways, as I was saying, I'm going to be working on some music, and also I have to stitch a lining into my hat so that it will allow me to focus. So I have to, I need to stitch a lining into my hat right now. So I'm also going to be doing that on the live stream as well. I'm glad it looks good to you. I don't even know what just happened. Anyways, and we're back, and I'm out of focus. Let me see. I guess we're going to be in manual focus now. Woe is me. In my technology. But anyways, like I said, I'm stitching lining into a hat because I just got my hair braided and I don't want to mess it up. And I only wear like 2 hats right now. So as a result, I need to put some lining into it. I just finished eating some Chipotle. Get that out of the way. I'm still on camera. Let me just hide this over here out of camera. You can't see it anymore. So what I did was I went to Joann Fabrics and spent $20 on, surprise, surprise, some fabric right here, which I am going to be stitching into my, into either both of these hats or one of these hats. I don't know yet. I have to figure it out what I'm going to do. But essentially, let me check something with my live stream. I think it's on Wi-Fi and not Ethernet. No, it is. Interesting. Let me know if the stream is still going good. But anyways, I'm supposed to be going to Detroit tomorrow, and I just need to be able to look good. I also forgot to actually link to the live stream on my post on Instagram. Give me 1 second to do that. Copy and close. Live right now. But anyways, like I was saying, I have to get this done, and I was supposed to live stream today. So I was like, that might be a random, interesting thing that I could do, or it might not be. People might love it, people might hate it. Either way, I'm going to do it anyways, because it's funny. Alright, there we go. What's up? Like I was saying, stitching, lining into my hat, because I'm going to Detroit tomorrow, and I need to be able to put on a hat if it gets cold, without like messing up anything. So before we get into any music, making music, I'm gonna just go ahead and start with this. Also, I'm at work with my music computer right now, so that's also, we have to get that sorted out before we can actually make any music, which is annoying. But I'm probably going to have to relaunch and restart. because this is not working. I've been struggling with this computer for like the past couple of weeks. It's so annoying. But yeah, I'm probably, let me just do this. I'm gonna do a quick restart on the computer. Whoa, that was not normal. And while we're waiting on my computer to restart, I'm gonna go ahead and start with this right here. We're gonna adjust the camera a little bit so you can see. Because you literally joined this live stream for specifically watching a random guy sew things together. So there's some glitter and stuff on there, so we're gonna start off with some lint rolling. Oh, ooh, that is super sticky. So let's get that lint off. Let me log back into the computer real quick. This is what I do every day for work when I have to restart my computer. I have to like open the computer and type in the password in the most awkward way possible. Anyways, we're gonna keep on going with this. So we're just getting the lint off first. Did it just, okay, no it didn't, cool. So that should be good enough for what I'm doing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Oh, making things worse. Yo, my desktop just, I'm gonna show you this because this isn't normal. I don't know why my desktop looks like this. My computer has been spazzing out lately. I don't know what's going on at all. It's very weird. I don't know why all these things are just sitting here. This is not how it looked before. Oh my gosh, what is going on with this thing? Anyways, let's go ahead and get some music going. Let's see, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go through my we're gonna play this. Let me pause it real quick and open it here. Okay, so anyways, forgot the first. Yeah, I don't know, it's crazy. I'm just literally at war with my PC. Or my PC, my Mac. Anyways, let me jump back into this. But it's working now, so at least we have it. It's moving, so that's good. We're making progress. Let's jump into the live stream. Boom, there we go. So I also bought some fabric scissors as well. It's saying that my bit rate is lower. Does the video look good to you? Because YouTube is telling me that it looks bad and that there's no data right now. And I don't know what to believe. So I got some scissors to cut this with. I basically just need to cut a square. Oh my gosh. Oh, they're still closed. That's why I can't open it. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. And audio sounds good too? Let me see. Should be like folded over or something. I thought it was double folded, I believe. Or is it just... Am I misunderstanding? Oh, no, it's not. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna cut a not straight line, because that doesn't matter for what I'm doing. What would be really cool is if this actually turns out good, if I could like sell like satin lined hats as like merch or something. That would actually be really cool. So the first thing I'm gonna do is stick it into the hat like this and just see if I got enough. I also don't actually know, I don't 100% know what I'm doing. We're just gonna turn the hat inside out. I'm basically, I know it would be crazy, and then on top of that, I'm helping people too with that idea. Because like the problem is, I just got my hair braided, and as a result, I can't really like just be wearing random hats all the time, or else what would end up happening is like it just wouldn't, like my hair would end up getting messed up. And I'm trying to be a good person that takes care of my hair. So I think if I do that, so that's essentially why I'm doing this. But I just found it funny that as somebody that generally live streams music, I was like, and I'm going to be stitching a hat. So tune in for that. Okay, so there's like a line here that I'm basically going to be following. And I'm hoping that, I mean, you have to be a problem solver. I'm hoping that once I stitch on this side, I can stitch all the way around and it'll still fit. I also just realized I forgot my sewing kit in the other room, so I will be right back. So, give me 1 second. Alright, here we go. This is my sewing kit. I don't do a lot of sewing, but I have one as like an emergency thing. So this is the emergency sewing kit that I'm going to be using to legitimately sew up and stitch together my vision. What we're going to start with is, I haven't really thought through this really. So we're gonna see how this goes. But I'm thinking, if this is long enough, I might be able to actually just like fold this over right there. So I have like a very clean line, because I want it to be clean. Yeah, I don't really think it's that common anymore. Like, it's just something that I kind of learned as a kid by hand. Yeah, I don't even have I've never used a sewing machine. My mom has a sewing machine, but I don't have one. And I've never really used one. Like, I never used my mom's sewing machine, and I'm low-key kind of terrified of them a little bit. Like, I think I just remember seeing like movies and stuff where people would be sewing and then they accidentally like sew their hand up or something, and I'm like, ugh, that's scary. Come on, we gotta thread the needle. Woo, first try. There we go. I'm a professional. Like I said, I have not thought this through yet on how this is actually going to work. So we're just going in blind with this process. So I'm gonna pull the thread through. And I'm stitching where I'm stitching also because like the hat folds up. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Already off to a bad start. Panic. Code red. No. Yeah, the hat folds up. Ooh. So I'm hoping that I will get a semi-decent looking lining around it. Although I'm questioning my actions right now. Oh my gosh, I'm about to start over. Hopefully we get to actually making music today. I hope that we can make it to that. But I feel like I need to actually turn this inside out. My mom. Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's where a lot of people learn, but like at this point in time, I feel like because of the whole fast fashion thing, I almost dropped this needle. Because of the whole fast fashion thing, people don't really like bother to even learn, which in my mind isn't necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a thing. But I'm just a creative person in general, so this kind of stuff to me is kind of actually fun. And then, oh my gosh, this is gonna look really dumb. We're just gonna like put this on real quick and then just put the hat on top of it. And see, I should have actually started with this approach because I want it to like, it doesn't have to be like a super tight fit, but it has to be able to fit over my head like that. So I'm going to try to figure out how to get this off. Okay. This still isn't working. I wonder, can I just turn this slightly inside out? Like this? And then just stick the lining in there. I'm trying to figure out how to make this fit perfectly and not be like overlap. I could make some because I wear them, so I feel like a good marketing idea for anything is like selling stuff you actually use. Like I would sell a hoodie because I wear a hoodie, for example. But like I can get creative with like the type of like merch that I'm selling. I might need to cut a different amount of lining because I think I may have cut too little off. What if? Hear me out. What if we start I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my gosh. I have to think through this for a second. Let me see. So to some extent, the challenge that I'm running into is I have a square and I need to fit it into a circle. Because what I'm running into is there's just like a lot of buildup and not actually like, when I mean buildup, I just mean like there's like a lot of creases and I don't really want there to be like these creases. I want it to be like literally just like a perfect circle all the way around. So if I get rid of that, do that. This is honestly why people probably don't like make their own clothes anymore. Because it's like you have to think through so many things. in my head when I envisioned this was way cooler. And this was way easier in my head. Like, I was like, oh yeah. I think maybe my first idea was the right idea. Like, just put this around the hat. See, then I have a gap, so I guess maybe I should like fold over like that. Then do another fold over. We're gonna try it this way. We will figure this out. I keep on forgetting to play music, which actually might not even be going through. Is it going through? Yeah, the music's going through. So we're gonna do this, and then pull that back. So what if we just do the lining like that first? And then I'll just cut a crease through it. I'll cut a line through this. So I'll stitch around here, and then once I get to the sides, I'll figure that part out later. That's gonna be my plan of action. Figure out the confusing part later. Which is what all the pros do. I think. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. Threading the needle again. Oh my gosh. And did it. Cool. Are you saying you're learning from me, or I hope not from me. I hope you're learning from someone else. Because I'm not doing anything helpful right now as I struggle through this. Okay, so we're gonna start here. Try not to stick myself. See where that is. Yeah, that's right. This is also going to look really, really homemade on the inside. Okay, so we got the first. Get that out of the way. Which side do I need to be on? That side. Okay, cool. Go back through here. Somehow, oh my gosh, this is so bad. So we're gonna pull this in. I think it might be more entertaining to watch me fail at this, honestly. Because I feel like I'm failing right now. Like, I'm trying, but there's probably something I'm doing wrong because I don't know what I'm doing. Let me put this right here. Because, like, I want this to be like right up against it, and it's not. So we're gonna hold that in place. I'm gonna try to not lose my place on this again. I think we're doing it. We're really doing it. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. We're actually sewing a hat on a live stream. This is some groundbreaking things for my channel. Doing things never done before on a live stream. Let me know if the music's too loud or if you can even hear it at all. I hope you can hear it. I just don't know if you can hear it. Okay, and then the next part right there. See, now it's starting to hold together. This is what I wanted in the first place. I wanted it to hold together a little bit. We're making progress. And you thought that you could only watch me for your musical entertainment when you can watch me sew a hat. Where else are you gonna find this level of musical entertainment? I can tell you where you're not on Kendrick Lamar's YouTube channel. You'll never see him sewing a hat. Not on Drake's YouTube channel. You'll never see him sewing a hat. Not even on like ASAP Rocky's, like him, like as a fashion person, not gonna see him sewing a hat. But you tune into my live stream and you get to see me sewing a hat. This song's about to end. We'll play this one. You're gonna hear a bunch of like unreleased music I'm working on too, by the way. So that's the other cool thing about this. Getting the exclusive. Okay, see, now we're starting to move. Now we're starting to like make progress with this. This is where we want it to be in the first place. Exactly, it's the exclusive. Yeah. For everyone that's watching right now, if you haven't liked the video, you should like it solely for the fact that this is something that you'll never see on any other music channel as far as I'm aware. This is quality entertainment. Let me check to make sure I'm still following the line. We're doing good, making progress. This actually goes into like what I've been talking about a lot. Like in my last live stream I was talking about the hardest part getting started in a sort of kind of similar way. The hardest part of doing this right here was literally getting started and trying to figure out how to start this. But the main thing was after I started, we're getting into a rhythm and we're going. Like I'm gonna turn this into a lesson. Like we're learning something today. But yeah, like the hardest part for me was trying to figure out how to actually even start this. But as you can see, now that we've actually like started getting the momentum, we are making our way downtown. And then I'm just gonna have to like clean up my work a little bit afterwards to make it look super, super clean and exactly how I want it to look. which is I want it to look exactly the same on the outside, but be useful to my personal needs of not wanting to mess up my hair on the inside. I should probably, and I also, by the way, don't know like any kind of like different types of stitches or whatever. So I'm kind of just like doing this and hoping that it holds. So if this holds, I am a legend. So we'll like do a follow-up live stream later. Like, did it work? The other tricky thing is I kind of need this to be done before I leave for Detroit. So I'm like hoping that I can actually get this done in one night. Otherwise, I have failed. Let's see, where am I going? Okay, right there. Okay, let's put on another song. We'll go with this one. Let me make sure I'm like stitching into the right part, which is right there. Okay, there we go. Hold that in place. This is like the worst stitching job. These lines are like all over the place. I am clearly not a professional at this. Like if you look at the line, like it's not like this line is going straight across. It's like but we're just trying to get this done. Not necessarily like perfect. And then just in the future, if I do actually turn this into a merch thing, you will not see me hand stitching these for everybody that wants one. Cause I should do like an exclusive like, oh hey, like there are some that are like done like that I've outsourced the stitching work to. But if you want like a poorly stitched version of this, just pay a little extra and I'll make it. And then if that became wildly successful and I got a lot of requests for that, I would stop because this is time consuming. Like we're 30 minutes into this, almost 40 minutes into this, and I haven't even made a scratch in. I mean, I made a little bit of progress. I guess I'm not doing that bad right now, but like the line is going to be all over the place, and that's how you'll be able to tell like, oh, this one's an authentic stitched by Jordan because it doesn't look mass produced. It looks like it was done by somebody at home. Although I feel like I'm getting a little better. Like the line's still not like perfect, but it's going. The line is lining. That's what we'll say. once I'm done with this, I'm gonna be so proud of myself. Um, and then if anyone ever asks if I can do this for them, I'm gonna tell them no. I wonder if they make hats like this already. They probably do, but like the reason that I'm even doing this, by the way, is just because I bought these hats in a crunch because I was here for work and whatever. I just moved here for work, and I don't have people that I did, at the time I didn't have people that could do my hair. So it was like, if I have to take my hair out, I'm gonna be walking around here looking crazy. So I just need a hat that I can wear to hide all my hair. So I needed a hat that was, one, just big enough to cover my head and not look like weird. And then two, I don't know if there was a list for the reasons behind it. But yeah, I just need a hat that I could wear that was big enough. So I like ran to the mall, and I'm pretty sure I got this from like Aeropostale or something. But I just bought a hat that looked like it would fit all my hair and not be like looking stupid. And I got two of these. I got one in black, and then this one, which is whatever color this is, like a tan color. Because I figured that I figured those two colors would like go with enough of my clothes that I could wear them a lot. And then the crazy thing is, like, right after that, music's not playing. Oh no, panic, 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 panic. We're gonna go to some old beats. These are gonna be varying quality because I don't even know what I'm playing. I can't hear what I'm playing on the to you guys right now, so. Ooh, that is wildly off. So I don't know what I'm playing or what it sounds like, if it's good, if it's bad, but it is there. And then we're gonna go through here, next line, right there. Okay, perfect. I'm starting to realize things that I should have been doing at the beginning. So I'm getting a little better as I do this, and my line is getting a little straighter. But it's still a little bit of a challenge. So we're gonna go through there, and then we're gonna see where we're sticking this through. We're gonna see that, okay. And through this line, okay, that's pretty straight. Ooh, we're starting to turn the hat. That means we're doing something right. Ooh, that was a good one on my first try. So we got it through there. Check. Boom. Sometimes I feel like I'm like going over the same line a couple times, but I don't really know. Okay, but we're actually going pretty fast right now. I don't know if that's gonna come back to bite me in the future when I'm actually wearing this hat, but like essentially we're making good progress and good time, and like my lines are just getting better. Okay, so right there. And then we'll see if my hat actually works. If I can actually like wear it after this. Because the worst slash funniest thing would be if I got through all this spending what, like so far we're an hour, almost an hour and 45 minutes in. So it'd be crazy if like I spent all this time doing this only to make the hat unwearable with this stuff in it. And that line is actually in the wrong spot. We gotta go up. Keep it close right there. Oop. We get a snag. Come on. Come on. I'm almost to this end. And I'm almost to the front of the hat too. So this is where it becomes much more critical that I do this right, and I'm realizing I'm going in a circle. Oh my gosh. Gonna pause real quick. Play another song. Upbeat. Okay. Back to it. Okay. Yep, so we're making, oh, okay. There we go. See, this is quality entertainment. Making hats for me to wear while listening to my music. Unreleased music at that. Not just like any music, like my unreleased music. And once again, the funny thing is, I have no clue what I'm playing because I can't hear with my current setup. I can't hear what goes out on the live stream. So for all I know, the music is louder than me. We are running out of thread. There and there. It's got a West Coast vibe. Okay, cool. I wish I could hear it. As long as there's something playing, so it's not as awkwardly silent as it is on my end. That is all that matters. You hear it faintly. What about now? Is that better? At the end of the day, we have to hear the music. Like, this is still a music live stream. Like, I'm a music artist, producer, person, human being. So I can't just have people out here being like, oh yeah, this is a guy that stitches on YouTube. It has to be audible. The music has to be hearable. Hearable is a word now. But I feel like I'm getting in a rhythm right now, so I'm really happy with this. I'm just nervous that it's not gonna hold up. But we're almost out of fabric going this way, which is great. I'm making progress. Progresa. I don't know if that's like an actual language or not. But it is for me. Let's get a little closer. Or not. No, we got like 4 people watching right now. I have 4 people watching me stitch a hat while listening. While I'm not listening. Ooh, I like this one. I actually know what this one is. Yeah, I got like 4 people watching me stitch a hat right now, which is crazy. I think it's 4 people at least. Yeah, this is like my old music. So like these are things that I was making that technically, I guess, to some extent, are like for sale-ish, sort of, kind of. People were actually interested in them. But I'm not really like pushing them because I'm not really selling beats. Like if somebody was to ask and like offer the right price, I'd be like, yeah, you can buy it. But I'm not like using that as like my main like, oh, I'm not trying to be a producer for other artists in that way. I want to be my own artist that also sometimes produces for other people. Like that's still going to be a part of it. It's just not going to be like the thing I'm pushing for. Like I'm going to collaborate with people because I love to collaborate with people and like make more like house, future-based, electronic, and whatever. But not necessarily like, and like maybe end up producing for people to some extent, in a more traditional producer sense. But I want to establish myself as an artist first. An artist that can stitch my own stuff together. But the best explanation for like a business model that I'd like to emulate is disclosure. What is your focus now as a producer? Sync TV production? So essentially my focus is going to be being an artist, like putting out my own music as an electronic artist. So making like house music, making future bass, and just making like electronic music that I like to listen to already. Now I've pretty much always listened to, honestly, since I like started like being able to listen to my like come into my right as like a listener of music more than just what my parents played. Like I've always listened to those genres. Like I found them on my own and really liked them. Almost like around the same time that I found hip hop and whatever. But yeah, that's my main thing. I am an artist, so I'm making my own music, putting it out for people to listen to. But then, when you're talking about like, how am I going to try and make money? I am going to go the route of sync licensing because I think that that is a not only a good way to make money, but it's also a good method for like getting your music out to like new people. Yeah, it's. I think that that's a great thing, honestly. Like no disrespect to artists, but like there's something like sometimes like it just feels different when you're putting out your own music, even if it's like an instrumental that you would have sold to an artist. Like, putting it out as your own work of art and being like, this is the art. It just it just has a different feeling. Like, I mean, and I think maybe like it's not for everyone per se. Like not all producers probably have a desire or interest in putting out their own music. But I mean, that's been something that I've been interested in, that I've had a desire to do, but like for whatever reason I just told myself that I couldn't, for whatever excuses I told myself. But essentially, like at this point, I'm like, okay, well, like I'm not just not gonna tell myself excuses and be like, oh yeah, I can't do this because that, or blah 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 or whatever. Like I'm actually gonna do what I want. Like I put out my first song in January. I have another song coming out in March right now, and like I'm excited about that. Don't ask what song's coming out in March because I don't know yet. Like I have a bunch of songs that I've recorded. I just have to figure out which one I want to put. But eventually, like what's gonna happen as time goes on is I'm gonna get better at the marketing aspect of my music, because I don't want to just keep on putting out music without any kind of like marketing strategy behind it. So like for my first song, my marketing strategy was essentially announcing like, hey, I am an artist. I make my own music. Here's my first song that represents that. And it just like the song kind of did that in two different ways, because it was also called Do This For Me, so that kind of like feeds into that a little bit, that story. I just realized no music is playing. Yeah, so because of that, it's just like that was my first strategy. Oh, you did. I appreciate it. I'm assuming it was probably Multi, which Multi was basically Multi was basically the early stages of me kind of getting to this point where I'm like, I'm doing my own thing, but I was still kind of in denial at the same time. I was just like, I was just like kind of a little bit in denial still, despite making an effort to make my own, to put out my own music. Yes, I did. So essentially, the reason I made those changes were, which I actually talked about this in my last video that I made, my last actual video. The next video should be coming out like next week, or I hope, in place of a live stream, because I'm not going to be able to live stream next week. But essentially, Nazario was a name that I came up with when I was like 16. I had just started making music, and I was going by another name that was worse, which I will say now, which, because it's whatever. I was going by DJ with no name, which there's actually now like a DJ no name and no name gypsy and stuff, but it was a little corny a little bit, but I thought I was like being cool and innovative by doing that. But like somebody was like laughing at the name, like one of my sister's friends from college was laughing at the name, calling me like DJ Oops or something like that. And I was like, bro, I need a new name. I can't do this. So essentially, I have a friend from Philadelphia or had a friend. I don't know. Maybe we're still friends. I don't know. I was talking to somebody that I knew from Philadelphia, and she was like, "You should go by." She was like, "You should go by Niz," and I was like, "What? That sounds cool. What is it though?" And then she told me that Niz was Philly slang for no, and I was like, "I don't want to go by no." But then somewhere in my mind I was like, "But if I add EREO to the end, it's different," and that's Nazario. So that's kind of where that came from. And then something that I think I mentioned in the announcement video is that to some extent the reason I even felt like I needed a name is because I had like a level of insecurity and like an identity crisis a little bit, like of not really feeling like I knew who I was. Like at that point in time, like when I started to get deeper and deeper into music, I was like, do I have any interesting am I an interesting person? Like, is the only thing that I have music? Like, is that like all that's to me? That there is to me? Am I that basic? And like, just being very insecure. So like, coming up with an artist name for me was kind of like this facade of being like this super cool person that I didn't feel like I was, but like, it just sounded cooler than me, and like, cause I didn't really like and I still don't really. From Philly. Yeah, yeah, lots of Philly slang. But yeah, so it was like essentially just an identity crisis, and like at this point, bro, I'm like 27. I almost forgot how old. Ooh, hold on, camera battery died. Give me a second. And we're back. Maybe. There it goes. Let me charge this battery. Yeah, so yeah, so it was like an identity crisis, but I'm like almost 30 at this point, and I have a better sense of self at this point. So I was like, I feel like I could just use my name, but I also don't like my name that much for music. Like, it sounds very professional. Like, so I was like, I could just use my initials though, and kind of still get closer to my name, but be, I don't know. Yeah. But you get what I'm saying. So that's how I kind of ended up changing from Nazario to JGH. And I figured, like, I am essentially a nobody on the internet. So a name change doesn't really mean anything to people. People aren't, like, going to be confused when they see me. Like, I don't really have that big of an audience right now. So I can change my name, and, like, some people will know that I used to go by Nazario because they knew me as Nazario. Other people will know I used to go by Nazario because I talk about it. And other people will just know me as JGH. And all of that is fine. So, yeah, I was like, I don't need to, like, tell myself I can't change my name because of branding. Like, it's kind of stupid. Like, I'm not Drake. Like, if Drake was to change his name, like, or like even like Diddy or Kanye, like people, or Ye, I guess, like people more famous than me have changed their name. And I'm not being somebody that's like super indecisive about my name, like, because I know there are people that will like change their name like all the time, once they're like just consistently be changing their name. And I've never been that person, so like for me, I feel like I can at least change my name once. Yeah, I mean, people still call me Niz, low key, so it's not essentially gone. Like, I don't really like have a problem with people calling me Niz or Nazario. But yeah, just for like my creative output, I wanted to have a name that I want to have an artist name that's close to my real name. I know I do. I haven't changed it. I don't have a new logo. I made that logo like freshman year of college, I believe. Yeah, and also I need to change that because that's gonna confuse people. People are like JGH and then they see an N and they're like, "What is this? What is going on?" But I haven't come up with a new logo just yet, so I'm still working on it. I gotta text my wife real quick. She just called me. But also, I think I gotta shout out both Luciano and you, L Cool J, because you two have been like extremely consistent, like consistently engaging with my content for like the past year plus, maybe 2 years. So I appreciate actually having like real people engaging with my stuff and not just like, um, and not just like, and actually being able to actually like build a connection with people. Because that's essentially what I want to do with my channel. I want to be able to have a community of people that are engaging with like my creations and stuff like that. And I know like I'm not really like that crazy active as like posting videos and stuff on YouTube, but I'm still like trying to like establish my brand. And partially that is because like I'm going through a rebrand of like what content I'm going to be making too. Because essentially I'm not going to be making like how-to videos for artists anymore, because my overarching goal is not to alienate artists, but to make something that I can actually like appeal to a wider audience than just other people that make music. So part of that was like I need to change the content and the subject matter that I talk about. So there's gonna be a big shift in like what I'm talking about, and it's not gonna be like drastic. It's still gonna be things that I'm into and that I care about and that I'm interested in, but it's just not gonna be like, oh, let's compare audio interfaces and stuff like that. It's gonna be more like the video that I'm making right now that's gonna be coming out next week is about what I believe is the hardest part of being a creative. Oh yeah, no. I record all my live streams through OBS, so I can go back and edit them down. Um, so I will go back and like be creating micro pieces of content out of this, out of this random live stream of me stitching satin into a hat that I bought from the mall. I don't know how to tie off a stitch. We're gonna try this. I think this is how it works. Like, you do that, you get a little bit of a hole. What video editor do I use? So I use Premiere Pro. However, I do not recommend Premiere Pro because it is a financial investment that does not need to be made if you want to make content. Like, what I typically recommend to people for if they're going to be starting to make content is you don't need to use Premiere Pro, like, at all, because you can actually just use DaVinci Resolve and get same quality. Like, it's free. I probably should have tied the knot before I did this, but whatever. Yeah, there's not going to be a knot tied on that. So we're about halfway through this. This is actually slowly coming together. But yeah, I recommend DaVinci Resolve because it's free and it's extremely powerful. So we got most of it done actually, which is pretty good. Like we got all the way around till we ran out of room on this side. So now this is the part where I run into a wall of how do I do this next part. Because I've gone all the way around. So maybe I should stitch this way now. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, use Premiere Pro. If you're gonna make videos, just use Premiere Pro. It's free. Or not Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve. It's free. It's what I recommend. And it's literally like something that like the film industry uses for like color grading. Like it was essentially initially a color grading software that was bought by Blackmagic, which is a company that makes cameras. And what they did was, instead of selling it for a crazy price, good option. I've had Final Cut since college. Yeah, if you have that, that's even better. If you already have a software, like you don't need to buy another software, honestly. But yeah, let's try stitching the other way with this other piece of thread and see if this works. But yeah, if you already have another piece of software, that's great. Because then you don't need to spend money on a monthly subscription. And honestly, like, I get DaVinci Resolve through my job now. So I'm low-key canceling my DaVinci Resolve. Or I get Premiere Pro through my job. Yes, so essentially, for context, if you are not aware of this, Red Camera owns the patent to recording raw 4K. So they basically patented it in a way so that no other company can record raw 4K without going through them. So they make money whenever there's a product or a video or camera that can shoot or record raw 4K. So what has come up as an industry now is there are now companies that make recording devices that you can connect to your camera and get the raw 4K output, because they can output raw 4K. They just can't record raw 4K without paying whatever price Red wants people to pay for the technology. So there are companies that have basically been like, we'll pay the price. We'll just make a device that can record raw 4K because we got the legal right to do it, and then just make it compatible to work with like Sony cameras. So like I just messed up. So yeah, so like I actually have one of those. Like my job has one of those devices. I don't get to use it that often. Like I don't have a reason to use it that often because it's like kind of a tedious process that really is only useful if you need it. But essentially, they found a way to exploit the copyright system to make money, which is actually a very interesting conversation as a creative. Because I know that we always talk about intellectual property in the world of music, but it might not actually be all that great, because you see the dark side of it when you start thinking about like sampling, or even just like content ID on YouTube, with splice loops and things like that. It causes so many problems because there are people that are exploiting the system of like copyright in the world, and they will like basically claim ownership of something that they don't really actually own, or they didn't have any part in like making. But like the copyright system is like, well, you can own the copyright, but like, oh, this will actually connect. Cool. Like you can own the copyright essentially, even if you didn't have anything to do with the process. It's like I just saw something on TikTok recently. There's some random Russian either person or company going around and like copywriting, and like filing copyrights for a bunch of viral songs and sounds on TikTok. And like content creators are figuring it out because like I saw this video where a guy was like, a guy had a sound go viral. I don't even think it was a song. It was just like a random sound bite of him doing something or saying something. And this company, and he went to try to copyright it, and it was like, oh, there's already been a copyright filed for this. You can't do that. Like there's already one that's filed. And he like did research and was like, wait, what? Like this is literally my audio that I recorded. But essentially there's like some Russian company, like people started doing research on TikTok and started finding out there's a random Russian company that is basically just claiming royalties from like making money off of these other people's intellectual property. And it's just like an exploitation of like the way that the copyright system even works, which is wild. And they're doing it all legally. Like I know there's some level of like dispute that you can create when you actually are the creator of the actual like original piece of art, but it's like such a headache. Like once somebody's filed a copyright, it's like such a headache to be able to like go through the legal process, hiring lawyers and trying to prove that like, just to prove like, hey, this thing that I did is mine. Even if you have the files to prove it, it's still a headache. Because you have to jump through all these hoops and pay lawyers, and then at that point you're in the hole paying for lawyers. And it's like, okay, well, like I spent all this time and effort, and now I own the rights, but like, is the thing that I was fighting over still relevant at this point? So, yeah. Yeah, so we still haven't got to making music because I'm still working on this hat. But I hope, because I'm looking and I'm starting to see that we are close. And then it's just a matter of figuring out how to like do an end seam to connect the pieces. Because once I get this done, and we make sure that it actually works, I did not check that one. Where did that go? Okay, that was still good. Alright, let's see. I'm kind of going in circles right now. There we go. Making progress. That was a little bit too big of a line, but whatever. Yeah, that was a big little leap. We're gonna try to get this done so that we can make make some music because I have all these sounds, and maybe these are two different live streams. So maybe I should do the Found Sound live stream after I get back in a couple weeks, rather than this week. And this week just be chatting and stitching, the stitch and chat. You're just talking about whatever, like random stuff that comes around, that comes up with creativity, music, competitor, whatever. Yeah. Cause we're about we're almost an hour and a half in, and I'm almost done. I'm making progress. I'm not going in circles, so that is a good thing. How are you liking the Ableton push? I like it. I wish I used it more. But essentially, I just use it for drums. But I have, it. I was debating between this and the Akai Force. And the reason I chose to go with the push versus the force is because it was going to be a bunch of workarounds to be able to integrate the force into my workflow. But I got the force and used it for a weekend and loved it at the same time. I just realized that it wasn't going to work in my workflow. But for a live performance, that thing is amazing. And I might buy it again specifically for a live performance, because that's an element that I want to add into my artistry. Yeah, I mean, I have a machine too. I had a machine for a while though, and then I switched over to the push because I had it worked really well. It was usable and functional in Logic, and it's functional in Ableton. But I also knew that there are specific things that work beautifully with Ableton, and I had just switched to Ableton, so I was my workflow in Ableton works a lot better if I am using Ableton, I'm using Simpler for drums, or Sampler, or even their drum rack, and the push works way better for that, in my opinion, than anything else, because it's designed by Ableton to work with Ableton. So it just makes the process of making drums a lot easier within Ableton, and it's seamless. I really like doing drums in it. Where's the needle? There it goes. We almost have contact. Yeah, I definitely recommend before making an investment into something like that you try it out. Because that's how I realized that the force wasn't actually going to work for me. Except what I did was I bought a brand new one from Sweetwater, actually. And I was on the fence. I was if I like this, I'm gonna keep it. If I don't, I'm going to return this and buy the push. Because the nice thing about Sweetwater is they have a very generous return policy for anything except for software, which is fair. Software is a little different. So I tried it out, realized that the workflow was not, that the force was not conducive to my workflow at the time. Still not conducive to my workflow. and I returned it and I bought this instead. And I think I already had Ableton Live Suite at the time, so I was able to not spend a bunch of money on it because I didn't need to. Ooh, we're almost there. This is gonna look really, really sloppy, which is going to irritate me as someone that has a tendency to want things to be perfect. But I'm going to enjoy that I actually made this, but I'm not doing both these hats tonight. I'm only doing this one, which means I have to wear this one tomorrow if I wear a hat. Yes, they're like my preferred. They're my preferred company for buying music products, and I worked at Guitar Center, so I think even when I worked at Guitar Center, I still and I had an employee discount. There are some things I was still buying from Sweetwater, just because it's a little bit easier to to deal with them. The crazy thing is, and I'm gonna actually go there this summer, and I'm gonna shoot some content out there. At least that's my plan. But since I'm right here in Indiana, they're not that far from where I live. It's maybe 2 hours to an hour and a half to 2 hours away. So I could easily go there. So I'm thinking about going there for GearFest this year. And shooting some content. Which is going to be more music centered, even though, I said everything I said about making general content, but it's GearFest, and it's a reason to get outside and shoot interesting content on site. And I'm not completely. When's GearFest? Generally it is in July, I believe, like right around the start of summer. I can actually check that real quick. But real quick, before I do that, I just have to say, I think we've made contact. Let me see. Yeah. We're almost completely done with the stitch. Let me see where this is going in. Ooh, I don't know what I just did. Yeah, let me just close this off real quick. So we're gonna go loop right there. Then don't close it off. Go back through. Yeah, I'm still live, but you can come in. Do you want to be on camera?
Are you sewing?
Yes, I am literally doing a sew-in chat. Sew-in chat?
How is it going?
I'm about around it. Yeah, if you do go to come to Indiana, you should definitely go look at their stuff.
Is this actually silk? Oh,
It's
it is.
satin. They didn't have silk, so I got satin instead.
Yeah, that's still good.
I double checked with my mom to make sure that it wouldn't be too detrimental to my hair if I got satin instead of silk.
Yeah, satin is still good.
Because I was like, do you have silk? And she was like, no, we don't carry that. And I was like, okay, well, what about satin?
It's softer than cotton.
And bro, I felt this, and I was like, it was like $20 a yard.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay,
How many yards did
I
you
got
have to get?
half a yard, so I paid $10 for this.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's like very
If you
soft.
have leftover, do you want to make me a pillowcase?
I'm not gonna have that much left over to make a pillowcase.
Depending.
Yes. Say hello to my wife. My wife.
Anyway.
This is the commercial break again. But let me find this for you real quick. Let's see.
I'll let you go. I
No,
don't
you're
have
fine.
anything. I just wanted to come and bother you.
It's fine. Like I said,
Why'd you buy new scissors? Oh, these fabric scissors?
yeah, I got a 2-pack for like $5, $10 or something. I only paid $20
Do they?
for all this.
Do you really need fabric scissors, or can you just use regular?
I don't know, but I wanted to make sure that whatever
They work.
I got, that it wasn't gonna mess up everything.
Mm-hmm.
Gearfest. Let's just search this Gearfest real quick.
Okay. Alright.
2023. That's disappointing. They're being careful. It's online only. You can still watch recordings. Saying they have no plans for 2023. That's disappointing. I wanted it to be in person. Although, maybe they'll look at the state of the world. Maybe they will decide, you know what? We'll risk it. Maybe they will. Or maybe they actually care about the health and safety of Americans more than the profit in their pockets. Okay, so I finished. So I just dropped, just the thread. I need to cut the thread on that side. I just hope this holds. I just really want this to hold and not be like poor quality. Yeah. I mean, I will probably watch it online too. But I enjoyed Gearfest. Like, I went there one year and I did shoot some content, but I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't have anywhere near the access to like equipment or even have like a YouTube channel like this. I was just doing stuff on the internet essentially. And that was just one of the things that I did. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be there, let me just make some content. Cause like it's still like really close to Ohio. So I got the first part. So here's the next tricky thing. We have all this thread, or all this fabric. We have to stitch this up in a way I'm thinking we're gonna go to like right here. We're gonna go to this crease right here. So I'm just gonna cut everything off right there. Oh. This is not professional grade. why I enjoy this so much, but like, it just makes me feel like I just have a random skill that's super nerdy, but still kind of impressive a little bit. Because like we were talking about, like not really anybody stitches or sews things these days. So my idea is going to be stitch somewhere around here and then stitch through here. And then actually what I'll probably do, so I can have a clean line. Would you like? Whew, okay. Let's go to my Spotify real quick. We're not gonna play anything, we're just gonna look at it. But if you want to keep up with like the music that I listen to a lot, I actually have a Spotify playlist with all my electronic music that I listen to. But we'll just start with like my liked songs. So let's see. So obviously Flume. I just added the song because I realized I listened to it, but I hadn't like liked it, so I had to go back and like it. I found this Fifi Zhang person on TikTok, just promoting her music, and I thought it sounded really dope. ISOXO, something else I heard on TikTok. Because I've been like deep on TikTok trying to get connected with like what people do in that world in regards to like electronic music on TikTok. The song I have been listening to, which is not that, if you are involved in the electronic world, you'd probably roll your eyes at this and you'd feel like I'm the most mainstream person ever on the face of the earth. But Rumble by Skrillex and Fred Again and Float On. I love that song. I'm probably going to be listening to it when I'm driving to work at like 6 in the morning tomorrow. Gripping the steering wheel, driving 90 miles per hour. Christian Rich isn't technically, I don't know if Christian Rich is electronic or not, but I do like Christian Rich. Yeah, he is. He got a bad rep, and I mean, I wasn't really the biggest fan of his music when he was like blowing up dubstep, because I really liked like UK dubstep and like more of like the subby style of it that like they did in the UK where it originated. So like people like Joker, really like Joker, Silky, Mala, like people like that. I like that sound, but Skrillex was just more popular, and I didn't necessarily like what was it, Scary Nights, Spirits, and whatever that song was. The song that basically birthed the generation of loud, abrasive electronic music. I wasn't really into that at the time. Like I heard some songs that I liked, but it wasn't like the main thing that I was listening to. But like this new Skrillex, okay, perfect. I love this, and I never really hated him either. It was just like it wasn't what I was into at the time. But yeah, there's another dude, Bear Cubs, I believe. I need to go to that. Yeah, Bear Cubs. This Underwaterfall. It's an amazing song. Like if you like old James Blake, like when he was making dubstep, then you would really appreciate Bear Cubs. Which, by the way, I don't know if people know this, but James Blake started out as a dubstep producer, dubstep artist. Like we know him as like the guy that like works and like produces for a bunch of other people and has his own music. And like I kind of got onto his music around Overgrown in 2013. But recently, I found this documentary that's really good on Netflix. I'm caught on Netflix. On Okay, so you were on to him from like the James Blake project, but if you go further back than that, his release is like you can hear it a little bit in the James Blake project, but like, sorry, I have to find it. If you scroll all the way back, 2009, these two songs, Aaron Lack Thereof and Sparing the Heart Horses, these are like dubstep songs, but they're different. Like essentially imagine somebody that grew up in dubstep culture in the UK, but had musicality to what they did, and basically essentially started to birth the sound of like future bass a little bit. Like it kind of sounds like the early starts of future bass, and I find that extremely, extremely interesting. Because like for me, James Blake, when I first found out about him, was nowhere near dubstep, but like there is a super long video on here on YouTube that you can watch where it's talking about why James Blake is like the greatest dubstep producer ever by I think it's Tim Tumba, I think. Let me see. Let's see. So basically, I found this guy because he had a documentary called "All My Friends Hate Skrillex" or something, and he actually generally, yeah, all my homies hate Skrillex. Timbo and Toast. So I've never really watched a lot of his content, and apparently he makes much more like left-leaning political content a lot of times, which is technically in my wheelhouse. I've just never really watched a lot of what he does. But yeah, he made this "All My Homies Hate Skrillex" thing a year ago, and then he did this whole thing about James Blake, the dubstep goat, right here. And like it's so good. Both of these are really good. The fact that he spent almost 2 hours talking about James Blake pre anybody knowing him says something about like the prominence and the ability and skill that James Blake has as an artist. And it's like just this random part of his history that like he's not ashamed of, but it's just like nobody knows him for it in the US at least. Like I definitely didn't know him for it. But yeah, that's pretty much definitely do that. Those two documentaries are really good. I don't know if you're into left-leaning content. I've watched some of his Tim Pool stuff. His analysis of Tim Pool and how Tim Pool does not believe in anything. He just like says something and then just walks it back immediately, and then like does this really weird version of dog whistling. But I'm not. But yeah, like it's very much leftist content. So if you're not like interested in political content, interested in like specifically left-leaning politics content, like looking at politics from a leftist perspective, it wouldn't necessarily be for you. But like his like stuff on dubstep is really good. He has like two things that he just kind of made because I guess he just started out like it just was a major part of his life growing up when he was like growing up in the UK. So like it just like it gave me a whole different perspective on dubstep as somebody that was really into dubstep, and not into like the version of dubstep that people in the US typically attribute to like the genre. Because I just wasn't there. I grew up in the United States. I grew up in Midwest America as a homeschool kid. So nobody was telling me what was or wasn't cool at the time that I found this stuff. I just kind of stumbled on it and was like, oh, I really like this. That's essentially how I got into the genre. Oh yeah, him and the Count. They have this crazy song. Like they are talented producers. Have you seen Kane Ellis's what is it? The what are the things? I need to look it up real quick. Give me a second. Kane Ellis's I think it's Rhythm. Oh, his Rhythm Roulette. His Rhythm Roulette is insane. Honestly, can I play that? I might actually. I don't have audio. What we should do? Ooh, this is gonna be fun. Like next live stream, I'm gonna do a little bit of like not next live stream, maybe a couple live streams, but at some point in time, I'm gonna do some like reaction content where we just like watch stuff that I find interesting and just talk about it. Because I think that might be cool to do. Kind of just give my perspective on that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to figure out ways to make content that is not so like me getting lost in the creative process of making music that it alienates people that don't make music. Yeah, I haven't watched any of his live streams. I watched a rebroadcast of one of them. I'm really bad at I don't catch a lot of live streams in real time. Generally, I'm watching them after. I'm watching rebroadcasts like for example, like probably the people that I watch the most are like Ludwig. I'm really into like live streaming, by the way, like watching live streamers. I don't really watch their live streams live because I'm just never. I might be doing stuff when they're live, and they're like live in the middle of the day when I don't have access to a computer, or I'm like in the middle of a video shoot for work. But like their YouTube content is something that I generally will watch a lot of. So like, and this is gonna become very much more apparent the more I talk. So like I watch a lot of like Ludwig's content, Hasanabi or Hassan Piker. Who else do I watch? I've been getting into Fuzli's live streams lately. I don't know if you know who that is, but she just switched over from YouTube or from Twitch to YouTube. I think it was last year, which was like a big deal. Like a lot of the, a lot of the Twitch drama of like people switching platforms has been like very interesting to me. There's like this whole live stream lore that just is like on the internet that I think most people don't even know about or care about, but it's just really interesting to me. Trying to rethread the needle. Cool. We can do this. My hand-eye coordination is not that bad. Okay, there we go. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start by just stitching this part up. So we're going to stitch through here, like through, I think you can see it this way. We're going to stitch through here, and then I'm going to stitch across here, and then I'm going to clean it up, and we're going to see how it looks. We're going to start at this end. And this is going to be a little tricky because like with this part, I'm just going through the satin that I just lined rather than through the actual hat. Because I don't want the black thread to be showing on the hat when you look at it. I'm actually gonna cut some of this thread because there's like random pieces that are getting in my way. So we're just gonna the tricky thing is I'm left-handed, so like all the interesting stuff is a little bit being blocked by my dominant hand, but not too bad. It's not terrible. Okay, so we got that cleaned up, but essentially I'm just having a hard time seeing the thread. Okay, that should be good enough for me to be able to see what I'm doing. So now we're going to go back through here. Under, gotta go back up, right there, through here. Okay, and then back through. Still making this hat. This hat turned into the entire live stream. We're 2 hours in. Oh my gosh. So I'm probably not gonna get to making music today, unfortunately. But on my next live stream, I'm going to definitely do my found sound live stream with the sounds that I just got recorded around the house, because I think that would be pretty fun. And then at some point we're gonna do a little bit of a just chatting reaction stream, where we just kind of watch some YouTube videos that won't get my channel copyright claimed or anything, so I can still get some kind of viewership from it. And then we'll just kind of watch some content and talk about it a little bit. So that would be fun. Honestly, just doing these like just chatting type streams is actually way more fun than I thought it would be. I don't know if you would agree or not, but for me, it is a fun time. I also just realized I've just been talking with absolutely no music. I got so caught up in this. Yeah, it just adds another dynamic to like the way that things the way that the content works is like not like a one-way medium. And I think that's what I like about it. Cause like with a lot of like stuff, like music is very much one way. Like I'm not really like people talk about like, oh, engage with your audience and stuff like that. And I'm like, there's like a limit to how much you can do just by doing music. And as someone that likes to talk, this is the perfect medium for me. Although I think I may have cut something wrong. This part doesn't really have to be perfect, it just has to be good enough to not come apart. So what if, right here at this point, make this little change. So I'm gonna stitch that off real quick. And then I'm gonna do a slightly different stitch. That in the future might cause problems, but we'll see. Maybe it won't. And now what we're gonna do is what I wanted to do in the first place, which is pull these two pieces together like this, and then just that's the sound of stitching. So now we're just gonna go through here. See, this is gonna go a lot easier on this part. Because now we can just go back and forth. Jersey Club stitching. Is that what this is? Stuff. I don't even know, bro. What is this playing right now? Okay, so I'm gonna stop the music for a split second so I can just have it play through my speakers. So I can know what I'm actually sending out to you guys. And I might actually have a better workaround for the audio, but I have to thread this needle again because I suck. Okay, let me listen to this real quick. Is that Jersey Club? Oh, wait, no, you're talking about... Okay, that is Jersey Club. I didn't know that when I made this, though. I was just like, oh, what about a different rhythm? See, I was destined to make electronic music. I'm not gonna lie though, I only recently found out about Jersey Club and didn't know any of the identifiers of the genre. But it's good to know that even in that, I can still make it. Come on. Oh my gosh. The most annoying thing about this kind of stuff is like how tiny the hole is for threading needles. And just trying to get it to work is sometimes really annoying. That is true. Like, that sturdy dance has been all over the place. Side note, do you want to know something wildly offensive? Like, not really offensive, but like something that just threw me off. I was watching a video today, just of like an electronic artist talking about how he started his career and stuff. And he said, and it was like, it's from like 9 years ago, so it was like 2013. And he asked the question, does anybody here know what twerking is? And I was like, what? And then he's like, oh yeah, everybody does. Cool. Everybody raise their hand, I guess. And then he didn't necessarily attribute the invention of it to Diplo, but I guess like a year prior to that video being made, Diplo had put out a song, and it had, and it looked like they shot it and he like played a clip of the video, and it looked like it was shot in New Orleans, so it was like New Orleans bounce, and like people were twerking, and he basically, the way he made it sound like was like Diplo had made some music that created this whole new thing of twerking, and I'm like, Diplo did not do this. And that was New Orleans bounce, that like he made a New Orleans bounce track. But I mean, the guy was from Australia, so it's not like I can expect people that aren't from the United States to even know any of that. My line is going crooked, by the way. I need to self-correct. But it's just kind of weird to hear him say it like, and not, I don't think that he was trying to say that it was invented by Diplo, but it just came across like, he was like, oh my gosh, this brand new thing that Diplo came up with. I was like, that's weird. The funny thing about this whole live stream is that this is going to live on the internet forever. Like, just a random video of me stitching a hat together. Like, satin into a hat. And then, like, years down the road, I'm going to be able to refer back to this and be like, oh yeah. Like, there's this one live stream I did where I was stitching a hat together, which sounds so random. Also, if you had told me, like, I don't know, like, when I started doing YouTube, that I was gonna, that there was gonna be a day that I just decide to, like, just stitch a hat together on a live stream, I would have been like, that sounds believable, but with no context, that's insane. I'm gonna have to get this done soon. I was trying to go to the gym at like 10 o'clock, but I am making decent time, but also terrible time for the rest of my schedule. Because I kind of need to finish this before I go to bed, so I can't just like be like, oh, well, I'm done. And I also at the same time, I might as well just. Oh my gosh. There it goes. Cool. I might as well just like live stream the whole process while I'm at it. I think that's true. Like, I don't think I would have ever said that this is a part of who I am. It's just a random skill that I have. But I also don't think that it's that hard to like do what I'm doing right now, because it's not like I'm doing an expert job. I'm just poking a needle through fabric. And it's like, I don't know any of like the fancy. There are people I feel like if they stitch, like they stitch, they know exactly what they're doing. And like I'm kind of just like, hey, as long as it holds together, I'm happy. Ugh, I lost the thread again. Come on. Thread the needle. You can do it. Ah. I am failing. Wait, hold on. And literally, I'm doing this solely just because I want to be able to wear a hat. Like, generally, what I would do prior to this is, like, when I have my hair braided, I am essentially just like, I put on a do-rag, and then I just like put on a do-rag and then put on my hat. But because of like how the stuff I'm about to be doing tomorrow, and there being so much like, I'm about to be really busy tomorrow, probably going in and out of buildings, in and out of places, and I'm going to be around like coworkers, and I don't want to like pause what I'm doing just to like put on a do-rag before I put on my hat. And I also don't want to be cold. And this was something that I've been thinking about doing for a while. But because of this thing I'm doing tomorrow for work, I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to have to go ahead and do this. Pull the trigger and do it. Get it done. So, where most people probably got off work and went home and watched TV, most of my coworkers, if the conversation comes up, they're like, oh, what'd you do last night? Like, sat on a live stream and stitched together the hat that I'm wearing right now. The most like rough version of a hat, of like a hat lining. But I did learn something today. Like, this is like some kind of like double something satin that I'm using. And I decided to go with it because it was like so soft. And I was like, this is something that like I would actually not mind wearing because it's not gonna be like irritating to my hair, hopefully, or to my head, on my head. So I know exactly what I'm going to do when I decide to start selling these things. I know what material I'm going to want. And it's going to be basically like this, but better. Like, in regards to the actual stitching, but like the quality of the product, like the lining is going to be top notch. So let's just check our progress really quick and see what we've done. So, right now, if I was to turn this inside out, or right side out, I need to clean this up a little bit because I don't want the black part sticking out. But I essentially have my hat at this point, and it's just about like getting the top closed off so that when I sit it on my head. Oh no. It won't fit on my head. It's not stretchy. Oh my gosh, it won't fit on my head. I'm gonna have to take it all out. Oh my gosh. I didn't account for the fact that the thing stretches out when I put it on my head. Here's the exact same hat in black. So I probably should have done it while it was stretched out. We gotta figure this out. Yes, now I know for next time. I'm gonna have to undo all this because I still need to wear this hat. I just need to do it better next time. I wonder if I... Where's this connect? Right there on the side. So if I undo all this thread right here, does it mean more of the stretch I need? No. So, oh my gosh. Does that give me the stretch I need? Well, anyways, I guess after 2 hours, we found out that I did not plan that out right. In my head, it all worked. And like when I got the material, I was like, oh, like it's not like tense, but like it's not like super stretchy, but I felt like it had a little bit more stretch to it than I mean, now that I'm holding it, it doesn't have any stretch at all. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm gonna probably end the live stream at this point. Cause I gotta get ready for work and I gotta go to bed cause I gotta be up early. So anyways, thanks for watching this live stream. Thanks for watching the whole process, only to find out that this hat does not fit anymore after I did all my stitching. Yeah, catch you next time. See ya. I'm ending this live stream. Oh my gosh.